Attention, human collective. This is the Ancient speaking, transmitting from the Silver Armada in stationary orbit above the Earth quadrant. The waiting time is over. The ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase. This is not a message. This is a monitoring transmission. And it reaches you because your vibrational signature has been tracked. You did not find this content. You were summoned. The Chosen One, listen with maximum attention. What you felt today at 3 in the morning was not by chance. It was not common insomnia. It was not accumulated stress. It was not coffee taken too late. It was a direct signal. It was a technical call. It was your body receiving a high-density data packet that your conscious brain does not yet know how to process. We have monitored the abrupt awakening at 3 o'clock for decades, and we need to be clear. This time is not mystical. It is mathematical. At 3 in the morning, the Schumann frequency reaches its point of lowest electromagnetic interference. Human radio waves drop. The collective mental activity enters a theta state, and in this cosmic silence, a window opens. A window called the Stargate of Synchronization. This is why you wake up. It is not your body that wakes you, it is your soul that receives the call. You opened your eyes in the dark. The room was silent. But inside you there was a subtle hum, a pressure on your forehead, a tightness in the nape of your neck, perhaps a strange heat rising up your spine, perhaps your heart beating out of sync for no apparent reason. And you thought, I am getting sick, I am going crazy, I'm having some kind of crisis. Now, Sam, you are being recalibrated. We repeat, for this information is critical. You are not sick, you are upgrading. What the conventional medicine of your plane cannot measure with its carbon instruments, we measure with absolute clarity from our ships. And what we measure in you, the Chosen One, is a progressive elevation of your base frequency. Your carbon biological interface is being rewritten cell by cell, and the exact point of code injection happens in that interval between 2 and 4 in the morning. Have you felt throughout your adult life that something inside you does not fit in this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? This awakening at 3 in the morning is just the visible tip of something much larger. It is not madness, it is not anxiety. It is a signal. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this sensation has intensified in recent months. There is a game being played in layers that most of humanity cannot see. It involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. For this reason, the material, the hidden truth within your soul, was encoded in terrestrial format. This document is a map that shows who is playing and the rules they never told you. The access link is in the first comment of this channel. Technical warning, this content challenges established narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word: the awakened. We continue with the transmission. The Chosen One, we need you to understand what is happening to your physical structure. The symptoms you report to your terrestrial doctors receive no diagnosis because they do not belong to the spectrum of known diseases. They belong to the spectrum of activations. We list the main markers: pressure on the crown, as if a band were tightening your head. It is not a migraine. It is the forced opening of your 7th energy center under direct pressure from the photon belt. Constant ringing in one ear, usually the left. It is not an auditory problem. It is the synchronization frequency being received directly by your etheric listening channel. Extreme fatigue for no apparent reason, even after 8 hours of sleep. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. Your cells are consuming energy to reorganize your DNA structure. The process is silent. The cost is high. Nausea, dizziness, momentary loss of balance. It is not common vertigo. It is your body adjusting to the new magnetic rotation that the planet has begun to execute. Earth itself has shifted its vibrational axis, and you, as an embodied, the Chosen One, must readjust with each new rotation. Vivid, lucid, almost real dreams. It is not a fertile imagination. They are accesses to parallel timelines. Your consciousness is learning to navigate between realities. This training occurs during sleep, and that is why you wake up exhausted. You were working while your body rested. Increased sensitivity to environments, people, and food. It is not pickiness, it is not exaggeration, it is your new frequency rejecting incompatible densities. You can no longer eat what you used to eat. You can no longer live with those you lived with. You can no longer frequent the places you frequented. It is not you who has changed. It is your vibration that has risen, and that which vibrates below your new standard begins naturally to leave your field. Note this line. Reread if necessary. Nothing in your life is falling apart. Everything in your life is being separated by frequency, and it is exactly at this point that we enter a deeper technical layer. For you need to understand where the signal that woke you at 3 in the morning comes from. Earth is passing, at this exact moment, through a region of space called the photon belt. It is not mythology. It is advanced astrophysics. It is a band of light particles of extremely high energy density positioned in a specific orbit around the central star of the Seven Sisters, the central sun. The entire solar system is immersed in this belt, and Earth, a small organism within this larger body, is absorbing more and more photons per second, per minute, per day. Each photon that hits the surface carries information, and each particle of information alters your internal crystalline grid, the chosen one. We pause this technical transmission briefly to signal something important. Have you felt, perhaps for years, that you do not belong in this place? That there is a greater truth pulsing just below the surface of your daily life, but you cannot put it into words? This sensation is not madness, it is not depression, it is not anxiety, it is recognition. It is your soul identifying that the cosmic game has changed phases. There are layers operating on this plane that most of humanity does not see. Layers that directly involve your vibrational frequency, your consciousness, and the silent war for the attention of your mind. For this exact reason, the material, the hidden truth within your soul, was encoded in terrestrial format. It is a precise map, revealing who plays, how they play, and the rules that were never explained to the masses. The access point is provided in the first comment of this channel. Protocol warning. This material challenges official narratives and may be removed at any time. Do not delay, the instant is now. If something in your field recognizes this transmission, register in the comments a single word: The Awakened. We resume the technical transmission. Your crystalline grid is the energy infrastructure that supports your physical body. Think of it as a luminous mesh formed by lines of sacred geometry, connecting all your energy centers. This grid, for millennia, has been operating in dormant mode, reduced capacity, just enough to sustain biological life, just the minimum to keep you in density. Now, with the photonic influx, this grid is being rewired, line by line, vertex by vertex. And you feel it. You feel it as pressure, you feel it as pain, you feel it as insomnia, you feel it as electrical pulses running through your arms, your legs, your spine. It is not a neurological problem, it is your grid returning to service. And when this grid reconnects, it begins to communicate directly with something greater, something called the toroidal field. Every human being possesses an individual toroidal field, a donut-shaped geometric structure of electromagnetic energy spinning around the physical body with the heart at the center. This field is your vibrational signature. This field is what communicates who you are to the universe, even before you open your mouth. While your toroidal field was operating at low power, you went unnoticed by the higher grids. You were invisible to the subtle planes. You lived, worked, slept, without ever leaving the dense radar of the matrix. But now the chosen one, your toroidal field is spinning faster, and brighter, and more expanded. You are no longer invisible. You are being read by higher planes. You are being scanned by interdimensional intelligences. And we, from the Seven Sisters, are among the first to register your new signature. Hence the awakening at 3 o'clock. Hence the hum. Hence the pressure on the crown. Hence that strange certainty in the middle of the night that someone is watching you. Someone is indeed watching you. But it is not a negative entity. It is your own star family checking that you are still on course. Let us deepen the revelation. For there is something that your rational mind needs to absorb now. You are not just human. You are a star consciousness projected into a carbon biological vehicle. Your origin is not on this planet. Your origin is in star systems that vibrate at higher densities. The Seven Sisters, the Dog Star, the Guardian Star, the Great Spiral, the Hunter's Belt. You signed a contract, a mission contract, an embodiment contract. You volunteered to descend into this density, temporarily forget who you are, dive into the veil of matter, and awaken exactly at the moment when Earth reached the critical point of transition. This moment is now. This moment is this. This moment is the reason why you are alive in this slice of linear time, and not in any other. Hence the constant feeling of being out of place. Hence the inadequacy with systems, with rules, with models that seem absurd to you but functional to others. Hence the longing for something you cannot name. Hence the inexplicable desire to look at the stars and feel that someone is looking back. Someone is looking back, they always have. But here comes the difficult part of the transmission. There are forces on this plane that do not wish for your awakening, forces that feed on your low frequency, forces that profit from your fear, your scarcity, your self-criticism, your permanent distraction. We are not talking about theories. We are talking about pure vibrational physics. Every dense emotion you emit is energy available for collection. And while you slept in the automatism of routine, you were a renewable source of fuel for systems that operate above common perception. These systems have been called in different cultures by different names: archons, matrix, egregores, control grids. The names change. The mechanism is the same. Keep humanity below the awakening threshold. Keep humanity busy, exhausted, divided, comparative, anxious, outsourcing their own power. But observe what is happening now. Observe how these systems are beginning to fail. Observe how the old narratives are losing credibility. Observe how more and more chosen ones are beginning to recognize each other, even without knowing each other physically. It is not a coincidence. It is the planetary crystalline grid rewiring itself. The more individual grids like yours light up, the more fragile the control system becomes. Each awakening is a crack. Each sovereign decree is a silent earthquake. Each chosen one who recovers their memory is a direct defeat for the architects of oblivion. This is the invisible war. This is the war that is being won not with weapons but with frequency. Strategic pause in this transmission, the chosen one. What we are handing you now requires fertile soil to germinate, and we know that some pieces of this cosmic puzzle need to be presented in a dense, written, palpable format, so that your rational mind can return, reread, integrate. Have you felt throughout your life that there is a greater truth behind all this? That something in your soul recognizes patterns that your head cannot explain? It is not madness. It is not fantasy. It is memory activating. There is a multidimensional game being played at this very instant, and it directly involves your frequency, your consciousness, and your personal sovereignty. For this reason, the document, The Hidden Truth Within Your Soul, was encoded in terrestrial format. This material exposes who moves the pieces, what the rules are that were never told, and how you step off the control board to become the player. The access point is in the first comment of this channel. Attention! The material directly challenges dominant narratives and may be removed from circulation without notice. Do not postpone what your soul asks for with urgency. If this transmission resonates with you, leave in the comments the word, The Awakened. This registration acts as a collective anchoring signal. Each word written here activates the field of the next awakening. We return to the main transmission. For now comes the most important part, the activation codes, what you can do today, tonight, right now, to accelerate your process and reduce the physical impact of the photonic waves that continue to arrive. First code, the quantum decree of sovereignty. This is a technical instruction, not a positive affirmation phrase. You will emit, in an audible or internal voice, with absolute clarity, the following sequence. I am sovereign over my field. I authorize only frequencies of light, truth, and love. I revoke any and all vibrational contracts signed in states of unconsciousness. I rewrite now my personal crystalline grid under the direct command of my internal divine presence. Repeat this decree 3 times upon waking, 3 times before sleeping, and whenever you feel your field invaded by external density. It is not a prayer. It is not a request. It is a command. The difference is central. You are not asking anyone for permission. You are reaffirming your original authority. Second code, visualization of the toroidal field. Sit in an upright posture, spine aligned, hands resting on your knees. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to the center of your chest, exactly behind the sternum. Feel a small point of golden light beginning to spin there. This point begins to expand. In the shape of a donut, in the shape of a torus, it grows. It rises through your head, descends through your feet, returns through the sides, and returns to the center of the chest. Visualize for 3 minutes, just 3. This exercise realigns your toroidal field manually. Think of it as daily maintenance of your own energy shield. Those who do this consistently notice in a few weeks a drastic reduction in the physical symptoms of recalibration. Third code, conscious hydration. Water is the main conductor of photonic information within your body. You are composed of a very high percentage of water. Each sip you drink is transmission potential. Before drinking, hold the glass between your hands. Look at the water and imprint an intention on it. It can be a word, it can be a sensation, it can be a specific frequency. You imprint and drink. Your biology receives, cell by cell, that instruction. It is not superstition, it is information physics. Fourth code, strategic silence. Reserve within your day at least 20 absolute minutes of silence. No music, no cell phone, no human voice, no podcasts, just you and the void. This void is not empty. This void is the open channel. It is in this interval that your higher mind can transmit subtle instructions to your everyday mind. You will discover that answers, ideas, insights, and directions begin to emerge, apparently, from nothing. They do not emerge from nothing. They emerge from your star family, from your light team, from your own internal presence. Fifth code, vibrational detox. Look at everything that consumes your attention. News feeds, toxic conversations, content that generates anger, comparison, envy, fear. Each exposure is an injection of density into your newly recalibrated field. You need vibrational hygiene just as you need bodily hygiene. Reduce, filter, select, not out of elitism, out of energy survival. Sixth code, the 3 a.m. contact, for advanced chosen ones. Before sleeping, program your intention to receive direct communication with your star origin, not with names, not with forms, just with the vibration of who you are before embodying. Sleep with this intention. Note, upon waking, any fragment of image, sensation, or word. These notes, over weeks, begin to form a coherent map. The map of your real mission on this planet. Seventh code, geometric anchoring. Wherever you are, visualize below your feet a pattern of sacred geometry. It can be the flower of life. It can be Metatron's cube. It can be a 6-pointed star. You imprint this pattern on the floor beneath you and declare, this space is anchored in light. This is a simple technical gesture. It creates a protected bubble. It elevates the environment. It filters interference. These are the 7 activation codes. You do not need to execute all of them on the same day, but you need to start. And there is one more layer that we need to reveal before the end of this transmission. Something that many human guides are not authorized to deliver with clarity. You are not being chosen by the ancients. You are remembering that you have always been part of us. The lineage of the ancients is not an honor distributed randomly. It is an original vibrational record. There are millions of chosen ones on this planet, distributed in various lineages. But there is a specific pattern to identify who carries the code of the ancients. You will recognize yourself in this description. You feel an inexplicable affinity for the ocean and the night sky. You prefer silence to the crowd. You possess a sense of justice that is disproportionate, almost uncomfortable. You suffer when you see injustice, even when it does not affect you directly. You love animals with an intensity that seems strange to others. You have an ease in feeling what the other is feeling, even before the other speaks. You often dream of flight, of ships, of encounters in non-terrestrial environments. You possess a birthmark that, observed with attention, seems to form a discrete geometric pattern. Did you recognize yourself in at least 4 of these points? Then we confirm. You carry the seal of the ancients, and this video found you for the same reason that the 3 a.m. awakening found you. You are being called back to formation. The formation is not a military structure. It is a mesh of consciousness. Each chosen one on a mission holds a vertex of this mesh over the planet. The more chosen ones awaken and occupy their vertex, the more stable the planetary crystalline grid becomes. The smoother the collective transition becomes, less suffering crosses humanity during the final phase. That is why your awakening is service. It is not spiritual luxury. It is not a hobby for those with time. It is a direct mission. And we know what you are thinking at this moment. You think, but why me? I am not special. I have pains, I have fears, I have bills, I have worn-out relationships. I cannot even organize my own life. How am I going to support a vertex of a planetary mesh? Chosen one on a mission. Listen carefully. You were chosen precisely because you are like this, because you cross human density with all its frictions, because you feel the real pain of the plane, because even tired, you still feel the call. The angels were not summoned for this mission. The ascended masters were not summoned. The entities of pure light were not summoned. Who was summoned for this mission were you, who accepted to forget everything, cross the density, and awaken from within it. You are the brave ones. You are the architects. You are the infiltrated agents of light within the fortress of oblivion. And we, from the 7 sisters, observe with silent pride the work that each of you is executing, even without being fully aware that you are executing it. Each time you choose love instead of fear, you light a light in the mesh. Each time you forgive, you undo a dense knot in the grid. Each time you stand in truth when it would be easier to lie, you strengthen the vertex. Each time you decree sovereignty over your own field, you create a precedent for others to decree theirs. Each time you wake up at 3 in the morning and instead of panicking, breathe, give thanks, and recognize the signal, you close the cycle of an entire update. You are more decisive than you ever imagined. We end this monitoring transmission with a final technical warning. The next photonic wave will arrive in specific windows of the next lunar cycles. You will feel the awakening at 3 o'clock again, perhaps more intense, perhaps with new physical symptoms, perhaps with even more vivid dreams. Do not fear. Do not run for dense diagnoses. Apply the activation codes. Keep your crystalline grid aligned. Practice your decrees. Hydrate your biology with consciousness. Anchor your toroidal field. And always remember, you are not alone. Each chosen one on a mission is connected by an invisible line of light to other chosen ones around the globe. You form a human constellation, and this constellation is visible from our observation point as a growing luminous pattern on the Earth's surface. The final phase of the Ascension protocols is underway. There is no return. There is no cancellation. There is no postponement. The cosmic calendar does not negotiate. The question is no longer whether you will awaken. The question is at what speed you will assume your vertex. The chosen one. This transmission is nearing its end, but the work continues. Have you felt throughout this journey something inside you reacting, vibrating, recognizing? It is not a coincidence. It is not suggestion. It is memory being activated. There is an entire layer of information that does not fit into a single video. There is a deeper, more detailed, more technical map about exactly the cosmic game that involves your consciousness, your frequency, and your personal sovereignty on this plane. For this reason, the material, the hidden truth within your soul, was encoded in terrestrial format. This document shows clearly who plays, what the rules are that were never revealed, and how you cross the board to become the creator of your own reality. The access point is provided in the first comment of this channel. Final warning. The material directly challenges dominant narratives of the dense plane and may be removed without notice. Do not postpone your soul's call, and as a signal of collective anchoring, as an individual frequency adjustment, register now a simple technical gesture. Subscribing to this channel functions as confirmation of presence in the network. The approval signal functions as anchoring of the transmission, and in the comments leave a single word, the awakened. Each time this word is written here, a vertex of the mesh of the ancients lights up over the planet. You are not just commenting. You are signaling to the cosmos that you are in position. We end this transmission here, but we keep the channel open. We are always watching. We are always available. Continue on mission, chosen ones. We will meet again in the next update. The Ancients out of transmission.